Professional men, you're stuck in this yo-yo dieting. It's not because of you lacking discipline, it's because of you doing calorie deficit mistake that is destroying your confidence. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 calorie deficit mistakes that is making you gain weight, having low confidence and low energy levels. So by fixing these mistakes and watching the video to the end, you are not only losing weight, but you're also getting a lot more confidence and trust in yourself and getting a lean, toned, muscular body that you could be proud of when you look yourself in the mirror and pictures. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the bell to get notified whenever I'm making a new video about weight loss advice every single week for men. And also make sure you hit the like button. I use these strategies to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 13 years, and I've helped dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. And if you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight back, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. The first mistake you're making when you are trying to figure out the calorie deficit that works for losing weight is that you're just going to Google, you're putting in a calorie deficit, and then you are just getting a macro calculator where you are putting in the stats of your age, gender, weight, but it's not enough. So you're just getting like a calculator of like an estimate of, let's say, 2000 calories, and then you drop it with 500 calories, or you drop with like 1000 or 1500 calories, so you're eating like 500 or 1000 calories. It's a calorie deficit, but the problem with that is when you imagine that 2000 calories is to maintain your current weight and you dropping it down to 500 or 1000, your calorie deficit is way too big. Problem with that is it's too aggressive in the beginning. When you are trying to use a very aggressive way to have a calorie deficit, you are not only having low energy levels, you are having cravings all the time, you're feeling sluggish, and you barely have any energy to working out or doing the cardio or necessary steps every day. And it also affects your, for example, the energy levels when you are at work and you're trying to do this presentation, but because of you feeling foggy, it also has negative consequences for you to not being at your best when you're trying to deliver a performance. So it makes you not having higher chances of the promotion that you really want, and you're just going to break down and you're missing out of all the career opportunities that you really want. So the right way to do it is you go to a macro calculator. That is something I've been using for my clients. It's called calculator.net. So I'll share on the screen what it definitely looks like, but you're putting in your age, your gender, your height, then your weight, and also the activity levels. It could be depending on how much activity you are doing, but there could be 4 to 5 times of exercise a week. And then you want to have, the goal is maintain the weight. The reason for that is you want to have the maintenance of your calories. That is how many calories you need to maintain your current weight. So by eating at that, you are going to reset your metabolism. You follow that for 2 weeks, and then your metabolism is just functioning like 100%. And after you've been doing that, it's easier to transition into a calorie deficit. I always recommend 200 calorie in calorie deficit at the beginning after you've been resetting your metabolism, because you want to have a smooth weight loss journey where you are having your metabolism functioning awesome, going very fast, and then you decrease with 200 calories, and then having 5 times of working out with strength training, combining with compound movement and isolation movement, and you don't do any cardio in the first 2 weeks, and then you have 6,000 steps. And then just by following that diet with 45% of daily calories coming from protein, that makes you lose weight faster, keeping the muscle, and 40% of daily calories come from carbs. You are sustaining your energy levels, you are feeling not hungry, you are feeling full and focused at work, better recovery, and then you just follow that, and eventually your weight is just dropping. And when you are trying to lose weight, it's not only focusing on what is on the scale. You always determine that by going on the scale with no clothes on. You don't eat or drink anything. You take a dump beforehand, because then you have an accurate way of tracking your weight, and also taking body measurement pictures, tape with for example, measuring your body. And then after 4 weeks approximately, you're going to take new pictures and measurements, and you'll see that you are not only losing inches, but you're also, for example, building more muscle. You can see that by you are losing weight around the stomach and you are getting wider shoulder. So it's about fat loss, not about weight loss all the time, but there's different kinds of way to track it. So that's the first way to overcome the mistake with calorie deficit. The second mistake you're making is that you are eating back the calories that you've been burning. There's a lot of problem with many apps, for example MyFitnessPal, where it's tracking everything you're doing, everything from steps and the cardio, the calories you've been burning from working out, steps, and then it's just seeing that you really need to eat back the calories. But the problem with that is, to lose weight you need to be in a calorie deficit that is sustained over a long period of time, because that is going to help you not only lose weight all around your body, for example from your face, your arms, your chest, your abs, but this is very different from person to person. And most of the time when you are losing weight, you are losing weight all around your body, and the stomach is just the last place you are losing weight. So you just have to be patient. And if you are constantly just creating a calorie deficit with the 6,000 steps a day, you are using cardio to lose weight even faster with 4 or 5 times of cardio sessions on a cross trainer or stationary bike every single week. And also the diet, you are in a 200 calorie deficit. Just by the diet, with creating a 200 calorie deficit with the cardio and the steps, you are maybe burning 500 calories every single day, and combining that is 700 calorie deficit. And you are keep doing that for 5 or 7 days a week, you're creating a big calorie deficit of, let's say, 7,000 calories. But if you are just eating all the calories back from the amount of calories you've been burning every single day, let's say you've been creating a calorie deficit of 700 calories and you are eating it back, let's say your calories for the day to be in a calorie deficit is 1800, but you are eating like 2500 calories. So you are not creating the calorie deficit. So there's no wonder that you're not losing weight. To lose weight sustainably, you have to be eating the same amount of calories every single day and doing that for 7 weeks or 7 days. So it just takes a long time before you're seeing any progress, but you just have to follow a calorie deficit diet with foods that you really enjoy, because that makes it more different compared to other weight loss plans where you're just eating eggs or drinking water or soup diet. That is not something that is sustainable. I pictured it's because that is not something that you are accustomed to, and the more extreme these restricted diet are, the more it feels like a chore and also something that you just want to be rid of it. Because if you've been yo-yo dieting for 10-20 years as a professional man, you probably just, let's say after these holidays now in January, February, you're going on a strict weight loss diet and you're just, for example, following keto diet without eating any carbs. But the problem is that you are just removing entire food groups because you are thinking that the most popular diets are just because you are losing weight fast. Because if you are eating 1 gram of carbs every single day, 1 gram of carb, and that is attached 3-4 grams of water, you are of course losing a lot of water weight. But if you are having the mindset that it's just a diet for 2 months, then you're going back to eating your normal diet, you are gaining a lot of water weight back because you're eating a lot of the carbs that you've been removing. So I definitely don't recommend that. And also the carnivore diet is just a big problem because you are eating a lot of protein. Protein is good, but it also has to be balanced, because carnivore diet is just mostly with high in fat, and that can also screw up your, for example, your cholesterol and having higher blood sugar, and also higher probability of you having heart diseases. And I just don't want you guys to have a diet where you are eating a lot of meat and high in fat, because if you are trying to create this calorie deficit, you want to make a weight loss diet where you have For example, eating a lot of great food that is satisfying your taste buds. Let's imagine that you are eating 1800 calories, and the 1800 calories are coming from lean protein sources like lean chicken breast, ground beef, egg, tuna, and you're also having more calories to eat for spacing around 2-3 meals because you are eating foods that are low in fat. If you are eating foods that are low in fat, you are having higher chance of eating foods that are more dense, and you can eat more satisfying food. If you're eating 3 meals a day and you have 1800 calories and you're eating mostly bacon and steak with a high fat, these have a lot of calories in, so you're not able to eat as much. So you can maybe meal one you can eat like a steak and some cut slices of bacon, and the last meal you are only able to eat 5 slices of bacon, and that is it. And you're going to snap because you're feeling hungry. Eating, for example, protein sources like from bacon without any slow digestible carbs or high fibers, it makes you feel hungry very fast. So I want to avoid that. What is your biggest takeaway so far? Just comment below and let me know. And also watch the video to the end to not miss out on the 3 biggest calorie deficit mistakes. The third biggest calorie deficit mistake you're making is that you are either someone who is eating very low calories, for example 500 calories, when you should definitely start out with 1800 calories to be in a smaller calorie deficit. 500 calories, you are just being very sluggish, you are going to snap, you're not able to follow this calorie deficit diet because you're just feeling that you are missing out on a lot of food and it's very restrictive, so it's very sedentary and also makes you feel like you want to give up because it's too hard to follow. I would definitely not be able to do that. And on the other side of the end, you are someone who is eating a ton of bad things. You're not even aware what your calorie deficit diet is. You don't even care about what you're eating as long as you are feeling that you're eating less than what you're usually doing. And then you're working out 5-6 times a week in the gym and doing endless amount of cardio, and you're just feeling that what you're doing is not changed anything. The only thing that you are seeing is that you are getting fatter, and you also feel more sluggish, and you even discussed how you look yourself in the mirror because of you not being sure about what you're doing. So it's always about having a combination of these two things while you're starting out slow and steady with 1800 calories, like 200 calories in deficit. You are not working out with strength training like 6-7 times a week because you are having a lot of pressure on your nervous system and you're burning out even faster, and you are going into the zone that's called overtraining. Overtraining is if you are just working out way too much, then your body can have time to recover. The problem with smaller diets of 500 or 1000 calories is you're not getting enough carbs. Reason why I want you guys to have 20-40 grams of fibers every single day, and also 40% of the daily calories coming from fast digestible and slow digestible carbs, is that you are having higher energy levels that you can sustain throughout the day, and you are also able to, for example, feeling less hungry and also having less cravings. Cravings is something that I dealt with a lot in the past because I was just not able to figure out a way to satisfy my taste buds. So in order to complement that and also tackle it, you just need to drink 4 or 5 liters of water every single day, so you are not only feeling that this calorie deficit you're eating is not so difficult, because when you are in a calorie deficit, you are sending a lot of signals to your body that is hungry. So by drinking 4 or 5 liters of water every single day, you're feeling full, and you don't have the urge to binge eating, especially at night. And if you're someone who is following your calorie deficit throughout the day, but at night you are just binge eating because you're feeling that you are missing out on a lot of food, I will definitely allocate a lot of the calories that you have. Like, let's say you have 1800 calories, you've been eating 1300 calories throughout the day, you allocate 500 calories for the last of the day with something that is more sweet. After your meal with lean steak and some whole wheat pasta, and it could be veggies, you are eating a cookie or a Twix Eating 90% of the daily calories come from whole foods is going to help you meeting your daily calories and also meeting the calorie deficit and also the macros. And just the 10% of the foods that is left is just coming from cheat foods. That is the reason why it's easy for me to stick to my daily calorie deficit and also losing the weight and keep it off for 13 years is because I'm not eating foods that I'm hating. I love what I'm eating, and also having some small cheat meals or cheat foods in that is not going to destroy my calorie deficit. And I know that because I've been very overweight, having these foods late at night is going to not make me binge eat. So that's something that I'm struggling with a lot. And the last meal of the night, out of the day, I'll just having some Greek yogurt with some zero topping. That could be chocolate or salt caramel, because that's just give me the sweetness of something that is just like sugar. And I also want to have slow digestible proteins. That could be Greek yogurt, or in Scandinavian it's something that called skyr, because you are just digesting the food slowly so you don't feel hungry throughout the night. The fourth calorie deficit mistake you're making is that you're not adjusting your calorie deficit very slowly. Because if you are someone who is hitting weight loss plateaus, it's because your body is just getting used to the amount of calorie deficit you are having. For example, if you've been eating 1800 calories for several weeks and you are in 200 calorie deficit, and you have been going 6,000 steps every single day for several weeks, you've been using 4 times of cardio on a stationary bike for 4 times a week, 20 minutes with a heart rate of 120, 150, and you've been doing that for several weeks, then you are not just seeing any progress because your body is just adjusted. So I always recommend that you are changing things up with pushing your body out of the comfort zone. For example, I always recommend that 200 calories, decreasing that even more from the diet, and then 2,000 steps from increasing that on the steps, so it's 8,000 steps. And with the cardio sessions, you are implementing 1 cardio session of 20 minutes, even more. So these small changes are going to help you break through the weight loss plateaus, and you're not feeling stuck and frustrated. And especially if you're someone who are a professional man and you are at job, maybe you're not as successful that you really want, because you're just hating how you look yourself in the mirror and pictures and feeling very uncomfortable when you look yourself in, for example, the pictures and the mirror, and you often hide yourself away from going to events because you don't feel comfortable in wearing the shirts. Your stomach is bulging out and you feel like you are missing out a lot of opportunities at work. And I definitely recommend that you are doing something about it, because I remember when I was at my heaviest weight and just not seen the results that I want. So just by doing these small changes, it can save you a lot of headaches and not keep doing the yo-yo dieting that you've been doing for so many years. Losing weight and keeping it off is just about following small habits and being patient with it. And I have a lot of the clients that have been helping losing up to 60 pounds and maintaining up for 13 years or over 10 years, is because they're just keeping the things very basic. They are creating lifestyle choices with their diets that I've been giving them, and also giving them understanding of what they should be eating, so they have a better awareness of not going back to their restricted diets and too much cardio sessions. That's not going to help you. The last calorie deficit mistake you're making is that you're going overboard with free meals, cheat days. Because if you are someone who's been spending the whole week with being in a calorie deficit, with creating that through your diet with 200 calorie deficit, and then you are working out 5 times a week with strength training, you're doing cardio session 4 times, 6,000 steps, and you are just thinking that one cheat meal is going to help you. It depends on the situation that you have to talk with your coach, because if you are someone who's just starting out with your, for example, your diet, I always recommend that you wait in 2 weeks with following the plan that I just panned out, and that is enough for you to have your metabolism work fully functioning, and also you're creating enough calorie deficit to make sure that you are losing weight all around your body. But if you are at the start of the weight loss. For example, Saturday, that is where you have planned your cheat meal. You are just not even aware of how many calories you need to eat. I always recommend that 700 or 1000 calories on top of the calorie deficit you have with 1800 calories. And if you are just eating 2000, 3000 calories, or you're eating 5000 calories because you just feel that you're deserving that, you're creating too big of a calorie surplus that is going to erase the calorie deficit you've been trying to create throughout the day or the week. And you are naturally not going to lose weight. You are probably just gaining more weight, and you are gaining a lot more water weight, and you're looking bloated and disgusted. And that's just something that I don't want you guys to be doing, because if you've been doing that for 10, 20 years, it's just the harsh truth that you're not going to see the progress that you want. You've just been putting in a lot of work, but you keep losing weight and you gain weight and even more weight. So just don't do it. And if you're a man working a full-time job, ambitious, trying to get more career opportunities and get a lean, toned, muscular body, and also look what you see in the mirror and pictures, and you want to become your most healthiest version, just like you saw with the transformation pictures of me and my clients, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you're fit to work with me, and we'll just build a game plan that can help you lose the weight for good.